No, I was thinking the same word, chameleon. Like one of the
Yeah.
things that I really kind of loved about my upbringing as well is my mother always wanted me to experience multiple different cultures. So
Yes.
there's been times where she took me to a bat mitzvah. There's times where you
Awesome.
know like I've had so many. I had a such went to be among Mennonite and Amish people. Like a
Wow. I
bunch of
love
different
it.
experiences that are not normal in the context of where I'm from, but
Yeah.
they opened me to the idea of being of different cultures and being
I
able
love
to
it.
relate to people in different ways. And so you may say, well, I'm from a different or weird background or whatever the case may be, but
Hmm.
that's a really a superpower for you. I don't want you to think about it as a
That's true.
negative or something that's going to be taking you away. Your experiences are a huge part in making you valuable. Like the
Oh,
word
for
that
sure.
Tamara said, valuable. You're
Hmm.
valuable. Don't
Oh,
think
for
your
sure.
experiences diminish your value. You are valuable because of your experiences as well.
Yes. Yes.
So we're going to talk about this sales
Yeah.
engineering. Let's talk about this because a lot of people are confused about it. They're scared about it. Can you
Mm.
explain in your experience what is a sales engineer or a solutions architect? I believe that's the word for it, right?
Yes,
Uh,
there's so many terms for it. So in the pre-sales profession, honestly, one of my mentees put it best. I thought this was a great description. It's like the sales ninja assassin, and I was like, what when she first said that. But
right.
as people, when you think of sales, anything, everyone has that picture of the car salesman or somebody calling to get you to get something, and they see an annoying person, and that doesn't change even within tech. Like I'll see an 800 number, I'm like, oh, what are they trying to get me for? Nobody wants to talk to a salesperson because it always feels like you're giving and they're taking, but then you're not getting anything back. So as a sales engineer, your job is to be that value, that trusted advisor. You are, and I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it. I guess you're like, not tricking them because you are a salesperson, but that is not going to be your objective when you go in. When you go in, you want to build rapport. You want to make sure that they know that you're trying to solve for their pain versus I'm just trying to get you into a solution. Um, and I think that's the biggest difference. We all have the same objective. We want them to have our product, but I think a sales engineer cares more about, does this fit? They think about the whole customer journey, not just after the sale ends, but are we going to have churn later on because we put them in the wrong solution? Are
Can you
they
explain
going
churn
to?
for those that don't know? I'm sorry to interrupt you. What
Mm,
what churn is? Because some people might not
it's
know.
they just don't renew and they
Yeah,
don't want the product
basically.
anymore.
Hmm.
So these are things I mean, I didn't think about it before, but you're looking at the whole customer journey versus just, can I get this check? And we also have the ability, and we can rest. Um, we can be a little bit more chill about it because our salary is not completely dependent on a quota. And so I'll shout that out. But we do have the same objective. We want to sell a product, um, but we just try to get in there a different way. So
And
trusted advisor, yeah.
yeah, yeah. And how technical of a role is being a sales engineer?
It depends. There's a scale. I am in a functional type of role, so we want to say functional and technical. Functional is more so, it's a lot less technical. So you're not going to be, or you may not have to code anything. Um, it'll be good for you to have an understanding of like integrations, APIs, and stuff like that. But you're not going to have like a talk with another engineer about something. We do have some roles that are a lot more technical. I feel like Splunk is a little bit more technical. Am I allowed to say these things?
Hey, go ahead,
Okay.
Alan.
Like there's certain roles like sales, and if you get into any kind of sales company, and I'm in sales enablement, so
Mhm.
we're talking about a platform, a cloud, and how we can pretty much help sales and marketing teams come together so that they can ramp faster and help bring that money in, right? But if I was working at Okta, for instance, I'd have to know a lot more detail and a lot more, I'd have to be a lot more technical because they're talking about people's security, and
Good old Rocta.
identity.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I would expect my sales engineer to be able to go out and have conversations with people who work in security, and they're going to be a lot more technical. So you have the functional and technical. You do not have to know how to code. I will say it does help, but you don't have to. And there are tons of roles that do not require you to do that. The biggest thing is the thing you would want to work on is, and I struggle with this still, is your business and sales acumen, knowing how to talk sales. You
Mm.
don't have to switch it up. You don't have to, code switch or anything like that. But being able to elevate your talking track is something I'm currently working on because I speak like me. I explain something the way I understand it, and
Yeah.
you're going to be talking to various levels of people. And if you're talking to a CRO, or if you're talking to like the head of a department, you may not want to, you want to talk to about the things that they are interested in. And if you don't
Mm.
know if you don't know certain things like KPIs, or
Yeah.
don't ask me, like I know what this means, but I can't remember the exact
Key
acronym, so don't
performance
ask.
indicators.
Thank you.
Hmm. Yeah.
Well, if you want to talk about stuff like that, you want to know what you're talking about, not just repeating a script, because we talked about this earlier. Like, knowledge and plus understanding is actual wisdom. That's when you're going to feel really comfortable, right?
Hmm.
So being able to communicate efficiently at a higher level, I think there is some upskilling, even if it's not a technical role.
Mm. So
I'll end there.
good. Ooh, so good. So they're like, oh, people mouths are like watering right now. Like, I want to be a
I love
sales
it.
engineer too. How do I be a sales engineer like Tamara? How do I do that? Tamara,
Mm.
how did you become a sales engineer?
Well, I went to Pre-Sales Academy, as I said,
Hmm.
and that gave me a really good foundation. Yes, it gave me a very, very good foundation. I joined the Pre-Sales Collective, and that is a great group to be, or a great network that connects you with over 20,000 pre-sales professionals. But the most important thing that I did was network. And I always say network for the net worth, because that is how I got my job. That is how I got a lot of opportunities that I did get. I I just want to point out, this is not going to be everybody's experience, but um, I did not have to cold apply to anything. I was spoken to. People were in my LinkedIn, and that's also because of the work that I put in to network. I
Mm.
had lots of demos
So
lined
good.
up. I accepted my second offer, and that's what it was, because I put in a lot of work to build upon what I already had. And I don't know if you're going to get back to this, but I do want to go back to that point where you were saying, like, experiences, how we can build upon them. Every experience is buildable.
Mm.
And that is something that I did not understand the value of for a long time. But you at home may be feeling like, well, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. Like, I have no, experience in corporate. Guys, my first job when I was 15 was at McDonald's. My second job was Target. Um, I worked at a daycare. I worked as a political canvasser. So I was in the
Mm.
sun trying to get people
Knocking
to
on
register to
doors.
vote, all that stuff. Like, that
Hmm.
was in 2018, guys. So that wasn't that long ago. I taught online, taught English online. I was a nanny for like 2 years while I was in my grad school. So, and half of that was under the table. Well, it's not. Anyways, but all this to say that I did not have as impressive of a resume as other people. I had lots of things. And what I had to do was look at my resume, look at the skills that I gained from all of those jobs,
Mm.
and put it into a presentable package. And I made sure I marketed the H out of myself.
Hmm.
And I will never look down on anybody who works, because I mean, I'm the person who's worked in everything, literally.
Yeah.
And I was given an opportunity. So everything that you've done in the past, you can use. You just have to really think hard about how you want to present that and think about the role you want and how those skills, what skills you can take to highlight, or what did you learn when you were doing this or that. And when you're in an interview, talk about those things. Don't be ashamed that your longest job was at Burger King or KFC or Chick-fil-A. Don't
Yeah.
be mad about that. What did you learn there? I learned how to be a great salesperson. I was wonderful with our customers. I was able to, if I counted all the people in my drive-through who came back, where's Tamara? Where's a grape jelly girl? Like, people wanted me to, like,
The
they're like, oh,
grape
I thought
jelly
she was,
girl.
yeah. I'm like, you want some grape jelly with that? I always do that for breakfast. So,
Service
like,
with a smile.
exactly. So what makes
Mm,
people come back? What is it important? What's important about the customer journey? Is it
mm,
just the product, or is it building rapport and building those relationships? I was great at building relationships. And so I
mm,
took that. I was great. I had a record of me building relationships at Target, at
mm,
McDonald's, at wherever I worked. And I had a record of me putting systems in place. I'm creative. I don't just do the minimum. I always do extra. I'm very extra. I know that.
very
But
Caribbean. That's so Caribbean
exactly
right there.
4 jobs one time. You know what I'm saying? So like
Yes.
I this is stuff that I did, and I always like I showed that.
Mm,
And so when I received objections in interviews, I would say, I understand that, maybe another candidate has this, but I was able to use this and transform it into this.
mm,
And I understand with if they say, well, you don't have as much experience. That's true, but what I do have is a lot of grit. And if you guys have a great onboarding, I know I have a record of learning tons of languages, or learning lyrics to songs. If I can do that, then I can learn your coding language. Like,
mm.
or I can do this. So I made sure that when they would have objections, I was like, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
You always empathize and say, I understand that. It would make me nervous to hire somebody who's never done it before, too. However, I know that I will rise to the challenge. I'm a great person to have on a team because I'm hungry. Like,
Mm,
point out these things that make you amazing. And well, I
mm.
won't go that far. I won't go that far. But
She's
anyway, let
about
me
to.
stop.
She's like, hold me back, Joseph,
Yeah.
hold me back. I kind of don't want to. I don't want to hold you back. She said a lot of. Tamara said a lot of great things, family. If you were catching that, she was going into the mindset of what it means to be in this field, and she said a lot of good things. Don't give up. She said this is work when you get here. I want to kind of talk about her experiences relating to so many people came back to her benefit so that she could expand her network in tech. And
Mm.
now everybody's knowing her as the grape jelly girl in tech. You might have to brand that. I'm the grape jelly girl
I'm a
in
grape
tech.
jelly.
I'm the grape jelly girl. Oh man, this is so good. If you really like this, family, don't forget to like and comment in the comment section right now. If there's nuggets, use the comment section as your notebook. I have a friend. His name is Phineas. I'm gonna call him out because every time he catches one of these interviews, he literally is time stamping everything right
I
there.
love
He's like,
it.
he's writing quotes down.
That's
He's
me.
using it as a notebook. He's like, I'm
Amazing
writing it
though.
down. I don't want to forget this. So use this as your notebook. Write down
For
things that are
sure.
taught because she's dropping gems. She's dropping gems. You gotta probably watch this twice. This is probably gonna be a 2-part series because
Yeah.
it's so much good in here, and I love it.
Thank you,
So
man.
absolutely. You got me. My mind is going. I'm trying to think of. I was gonna ask about networking, but I think we talked about that in a really good
A
way
little bit.
because you could talk about her life experience and her be able to connect with people, and you could take that and try to connect with people and build off. And this is what I
Mm,
heard Tamara say, and without saying it, authentic relationships with people. They're not a means to an end. They're actually a person on the other side of that. So building an authentic relationship with them, where you're being
mm,
authentic with who you are, it goes a long way. Ooh, okay.
I love
Here we go. They always ask me this question: what is a day in the life of an SDR like? So I'm going to ask you this for a sales engineer. What is a day in the life of the sales engineer, Tamara?
mm.
What's the day in life for you?
So I can give you a bit of two perspectives. So I'm an associate sales engineer. So My job, I support the sales engineers. That means I didn't realize I was getting myself into a technical ish role, but I kind of kind of did. So I make the demo environments. I add the assets in. I make sure that the SEs can tell whatever story they need to. Now, I can also give you from my perspective what SEs do. I mean, a typical day can start off with checking up on your emails, the most basic thing, right? Making sure that you're prepared for every meeting that you have. Preparation includes listening to your discovery calls. If um, if you're not in on them, I know a lot of SCs are they can be involved in the discovery process, but I would suggest if you use Chorus, Gong, whatever you guys use within your companies,
Gong.
yeah, listen to your discovery calls. You can uncover so much. Don't just rely on the notes that your AEs provide you with, because everybody can somebody can say potato, and then me and Joseph will like have a different meaning from that,
Mm-hmm.
So two brains are better than one sometimes. So just make sure you're actually taking part of that discovery. If that's a call, great. Some people can go in there and wing it. If it were me, because I do have to prepare for mock demos, and I do some subject matter expert demos, I have to prepare. So that means I got to look up the company. I have to look up the people who are going to be on that call. I have to practice. And maybe this comes from being a singer, but I have to practice. For me to feel comfortable, I need to know the layout. That means you're going to, based off of what you know, their pain points are. So based off discovery, you want to go through your demo and make sure you have your click paths lined up. Okay, what am I going to show? Am I just going to show them everything? No, people do, but you don't want to. You want to make sure it's tailored. So preparation, I would say like 60% of everything, making sure you know what's going to happen in the call. You're not going to know everything, and they're going to ask a question that's probably going to throw you. But just being prepared. When you have that downtime, use that to catch up on something else. Listen to another person do a demo. Sit in on a call. Like always be, especially if I'm giving you the perspective if you are coming into a position from not having a position, like so entry. But find a mentor within. Make sure you're always trying to consume as much. SCs at my company, the most they'll be in, from talking to one of my colleagues, she has about 3 at most calls in a day, and then a lot of it's free time. So this is a great career for work-life balance. Me, I am enough, so of course I've given myself lots of projects, and so I really try to improve processes, and that's paid off in my favor, because I'm getting more responsibility, which will hopefully lead to some really good growth professionally. So
Nice, nice. Well, as you're talking, I remember the fact about you. You're a mother, and I think
yeah.
that a lot of women out there, mothers that are trying to make this happen, they could definitely glean from you and
Mm.
learn some things. So, how did you manage being a mother and breaking into this field or pivoting into this field? How did you manage that?
It was really hard, guys. I'm not gonna lie. And um, I I did, and I still do, lean on my sister for a lot of support. She's watching my daughter right now. To upskill, it took a lot. So I spent hours just learning. Um, I'm a single mom now, so it is hard. If you have support, then that's even better. If your kids are older, that's great. Use the time that when they're away to work on things, like if they're in school or something. Um, but the balance is very difficult. The thing I would admonish everybody to remember or try to do is, when it's 5, log off and don't log back on. Silence the Slack.
Mm,
That's super
hmm
hard. That's super hard. I
hmm
know, but you'll be happier for it. and in the long run, your kids will be too. It's still something I struggle with because I feel like I can get so much done. I just need just one more sentence, just one more this, but log off at 5. That will help with work-life balance. But trying to pivot, it's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a village, and this is where you have to chop the shame tree down, not have a lot of pride, ask for help. It's really hard, especially within our community. Black women, we think we can do it all. Thought I was a superwoman, but I would not have been here without support from my family and my sisters. So,
Absolutely.
mhm.
Such a gem. Log off after 5 p.m. And one thing I really respect about this industry, depending on the company you work for, I know my company, Frisia, man, my manager's like, we don't want to see you here. 5 o'clock,
Right.
go be with your family. Like that was unheard of in other companies that I worked for in the past. They were just kind of like, hey, I want as much as I could get from you. And so it's really difficult. It's really difficult to do it, but in this space, they really do respect that, and that's one thing I love
Oh
about
yes.
working in this space right now. I got my weekends back. I could be with my
Oh.
kids. It's.
And if you luck out to get a company that has unlimited PTO like mine does,
Yeah, me too.
and luckily I don't know how it works for those who are in the field. So we have field SEs, and those are the people who are customer facing all the time. That's the bulk of what they do. I don't know how it works for them because you're kind of constrained to the schedule of the meetings you book. But I know for me, it's very simple. And my bosses, they're always like, Tamara, don't you want to take some time off? I'm like, no, I don't need it. But they're
Yeah,
very big on that.
mental health and everything. They
Oh
always
yeah.
consider that. So
Hmm.
this has been such a rich conversation. I
Yeah,
think
we
it's
gotta
been
get
so
another one.
fun. I know. I'm gonna have to do follow ups. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna leave it up to the audience. Do you want to do a
Yeah.
follow up with Tamara? I think you do. Put it in the comment section below. Write down, hey, we need a part because this is gonna be a 2-part series. We need part 3, part 4. If you want that, put that in the section below because this was so rich. I want to kind of pivot now to the brain. I know we talked about
Yeah.
mindset throughout this entire conversation, but if you had to sum up the mindset that one would need to have, not only to be where you are, Tamara, but to scale from there,
Mm,
what would be the way, or how would you summarize the mindset one needs to have?
mm. I always start with grit and resilience. Um, we know about work. We know how to work hard, and that is ingrained in us because of who we are as a people. I'm speaking specifically to people of color in America, and so we know how to work hard.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let it stop when you've reached one goal.
Mm.
I don't think everybody has to be a manager. I don't think everybody has to like be like VP of anything. I'm not saying that, but let your work really speak for you. Like, be that person. Try to do extra things. Like you'll get varied advice on this. Some people say don't do more than you required, but for me and what's worked out so far is I'm always trying to find a way to insert myself into a room, into a conversation, and make myself invaluable because I know I am. But I'm going to set up the processes. I'm going to leave my mark wherever I am. And so, with grit and resilience, um, that hard work and determination, and always being at a place to grow, taking opportunities that you can grow. I think that's very important, and not being afraid to be wrong and to not know. That's the I feel like that could be even higher because I seem real stupid a lot of times, but I'm not afraid of that because I don't know. And so, one thing I will say, it will pay off. If you don't know, ask. Don't be afraid. Don't not try something because you don't know how to do it. Um, it will all lend to getting you into a better place. And I am a testament of that. I feel I'm like killing it, if I do say so myself. And that's just because
Talk that
all
talk.
these things. So yeah, I said a lot.
No worries. I love letting people speak because we get so much more gems, so much more diamonds, so much more rubies, and so much more gold. And this conversation has been gold. If it has
I
been
love
gold for
it.
you, write in the comment section below. Let Tamara know how she how much you value this conversation. And is it okay if I put your LinkedIn in the description as well? They can reach
Please
out to you.
do reach out to me. Reach out to me.
You're gonna have a lot of sales engineers from different boot camps reaching out, and I want to encourage people. Right, if you heard anything from this conversation, is do not give up. Really, do not give up. And if you are thinking about getting into tech sales, if you're thinking about becoming a IT professional, or even thinking about becoming a digital marketer, or in this case, being an SE, reach out to Tamara about the SE part. I don't know much about that, so I can't I can't help you that part. But with everything else, I would say try course careers, even try the boot camp she mentioned for becoming an SE. And we definitely want you to make a mark in this industry, because we need you. We need you, no matter what background you come from, no matter what quote unquote disability somebody may have labeled you with. We
Hmm.
need you in this space. We need
Yes.
you in
Come
this
on,
space.
somebody. Come
Come
on,
on over.
somebody. Yeah.
And with that being said, this has been a blast, and we will have a follow up to this. Thank you, Tamara, for joining
Thank
me.
you so much for inviting me. I really enjoyed spending time with you.
Yeah, likewise, likewise. And to the audience, like I always say, I hope to see you on the other side. Take care, family, and have a great day.